I don't even know why I chose to shave, but I just felt like it. Yeah. It'll grow back again in like a day. Anyway, but yeah, let's blast off. Dominion destroys Fox News. Selling tickets to those stash rides? No. I'm in the you can't afford it. You know what I mean? Fox News and Dominion have agreed to one of the largest settlements in any defamation case in the history of the United States. You guys already know defamation is a very difficult thing to prove in the United States of America. Free speech is pretty aggressively protective over especially media companies. And yet, for some reason, well, not for some reason, for very good reasons, Fox News was hit with a defamation suit, and they did not want to go through the court process and basically settled for $780 million, which is a gigantic amount of money. No, it's not chump change. I'm upset because our content has been cucked. I think Discovery and the court process there, having, Tucker Carlson appear on the stand would have been delicious. It would have been excellent. But Dominion is a company that makes like around $18 million a year. For them, close to $1 billion. I mean, a historic settlement. You're out of your mind. Let's take a look.
In with the news, and the news this morning is a blockbuster settlement in the lawsuit accusing Fox News of airing lies related to the 2020 election. Fox and Dominion Voting Systems avoided a trial, agreeing to one of the largest settlements in any defamation case in American history. The voting machine company will collect more than $787 million. However, Fox News will not have to make an apology on its air. Scott McFarland was at the courthouse when the deal was announced, and he joins us now from Wilmington, Delaware, where the trial had been set to take place. Scott, good morning.
Tony, this was the ultimate last-minute settlement. The jury was seated. Opening statements were set to begin when both sides blinked and agreed to an eye-popping number. Avoiding a trial that would have turned Fox News' biggest stars into star witnesses, the company will cut a $787.5 million check to Dominion Voting Systems. Fox was accused of knowingly airing conspiracy theories and baseless claims falsely linking Dominion to a scheme to flip votes during the 2020 election.
Like Judge Janine cost them like almost $1 billion. Like almost single-handedly. Like she was the worst offender out of all of the people involved in this. She was the worst offender. And it is kind of wild. I'm saying, this is overall a good thing. Fox will have to be more careful with defamation suits. They will have to be more careful with defamation in the future. They had him dead to rights. That's the reason why they settled. They were trying to max out, basically. It seems like they were just trying to simply max out on the realistic dollar value that they could get out of them. And they did that. They did just that. The number is biblical. Do I think Dominion could have gotten more if they didn't take the statement offer? I don't know. I think what was it like? They were looking for 4, but that number is unrealistic, especially because like they were looking for 2.7 billion. That number is unrealistic because they don't make that much money.
So much for those claims that voter fraud never happens. Of course it happens. They knew it happened.
That's despite evidence, including internal messages in which Fox executive Suzanne Scott warned challenging Trump's bogus claims could hurt ratings.
It's just funny that these guys literally text in a way where they feel like no one will ever, there will never be another. They text as though no one is watching, okay? Like, they text as though they're like, surely there will never be a moment where, I don't know, people will potentially sue Fox News for defamation. Like, your private text messages are not so private, especially if they are, especially if there's like a suit.
Public statement from Fox, which Tuesday night said it acknowledged the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false. But there was no requirement of an on-air apology or retraction, and Fox attorneys declined to speak to reporters outside the courthouse.
The folks at Fox are big boys and girls, and they can say whatever statement they want in the future to recognize what they did and what this court found. But we think that the dollar figure that they agreed to today speaks for itself.
The settlement spares Dominion from having to put its fate in the hands of 12 jurors and from years of likely appeals if the case went to trial.
They get an acknowledgement that this was wrong, and they get to move on. And in that sense, this is more accountability than people have seen from Fox News.
They're going to pay without any visible to the average American consequences. The only long-term positive from this is that they'll have to look out for defamation lawsuits. First of all, they always have to look out for defamation lawsuits. They have lawyers on retainer for that purpose. And secondly, $787.5 million is literally the most visible way that you could, you could openly admit wrongdoing without admitting wrongdoing. Every normal human being is going to see that and go, oh, okay, never mind. I mean, these guys got shellacked. They got milked, okay? They got milked like a cow out to pasture. They were bursting from the seams, and they got suckled on. Come on. Not a single human being that hears that $700 million number thinks, oh, yeah, Fox News had to pay this because they didn't defame Dominion. Fox News, most likely, is not going to cover this situation. There's no shot that they cover it. You know what I mean? Like, people on the Republican side will hear about it through people like yourself, okay? Telling your mom, telling your dad, telling your uncles that are QAnon or whatever. But even if they cover it on Fox News, it'll be in the morning. It'll be in like one of the earlier hours. It will never be during prime time. I doubt Tucker Carlson talks about it. But for those of you who think this is not a big deal, no media company has $1 billion, close to $1 billion in cash in circulation that they just have lying around that they would easily throw at a problem like this. This is a gigantic sum of money. Obviously, it will be held up in courts for many, many years, by the way. They're not going to immediately pay the settlement. Like, that's that process is like a lengthy one. So they'll do everything they can to make sure that they set up a payment plan that's like manageable, blah, blah, blah. Fox doesn't have that money liquid. There's no way they can just pay this out. Yeah, of course, they don't usually. It doesn't go that way ever. But this is a gigantic sum of money.
Fox is still facing a defamation suit from voting machine company Smartmatic. That suit seeks $2.7 billion and could yield an even larger sum. Gail?
All right.
You can't appeal an agreed settlement? No, that's not what I mean. But they'll have an appealed settlement, but then they'll literally hold it up as best as they can. There's like a million different ways that lawyers do this kind of thing.
To go on air and tell viewers that they lied. Here's what Fox said in a statement when the news broke.
I do have a statement from Fox, Neil. We're pleased to have reached a settlement of our dispute with Dominion Voting Systems. We acknowledge the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false. The settlement reflects Fox's
Yeah, they're talking about this at like what time? Howard Kurtz.
continued commitment to the highest journalistic standards.
We just want to give you now a small sample of the broadcast that got Fox News broadcasts that got Fox News in trouble. Here it is.
That wasn't 4:20 p.m., right? That was 4:20 a.m., I think. The afternoon time slot is usually occupied by what's his face? Their version of Steven Crowder, Jesse. God, I know too much about Fox News. It's so gross. No, that wasn't CNN. That was Fox News.